Alright folks, Josh Reeves live here with you on Monday, January 26th, 2015. How's everybody doing out there? It's been quite a while since we've had a discussion or talked. I've been on hiatus here with the broadcast, so I am slowly but surely making my way back onto the airwaves. So this is kind of our first real broadcast to kick off 2015. I've been quite busy with, a whole lot of things. I won't bore you with all the particular details and all that stuff, but suffice to say, I've been quite busy working on many of the projects as well as stuff going on in my personal life. The rest of all that stuff I won't bore you with. So, but it is good to be back. There's so much to talk about that I won't be able to talk about it here, all of it here tonight, because frankly I probably won't remember of it. There's been so many things that I've wanted to talk about and discuss with you guys. A lot's gone on, but you know what? Really, honestly, there hasn't been anything where I felt like, I needed to really jump all over it. And talk about and scream and yell about it. I mean, had there been any pressing issues or anything that I felt you guys were going to miss out on, not hearing me not being on the air, I would have absolutely gotten up here and done a show or something. But the fact of the matter is, we've just, before we went on hiatus, we had just not been able to keep the show up and running. And did not have enough financial support coming in for these for the radio shows and whatnot, and we just flat got to the point where I couldn't afford to do it anymore, to be honest with you. So now I'm slowly, surely again making my comeback here and coming out of the hiatus. So I'm going to do as many shows as I can. I'm also going to be incorporating, probably as you're seeing right now, we're also going to be incorporating doing some video broadcasts as well in conjunction. I'm not going to be doing stuff the same way as I used to anymore. In fact, I'm almost to the point where I'm going to throw structure to the wind completely. Because I'm just, you have time away from something, you have time to contemplate it and think about it, and how you feel about it comes a little clearer sometimes than it does when you're just in the moment of doing it, I'm sure you've all had a job in your life like that at some point, where you didn't like it, so you quit or whatever, you found another job, but in hindsight, you look back at you see things about it that you didn't like and didn't like. But really for me, I've never been a big person on following any kind of regimented structure, and I think that I think for me, as a person, my interests are widely varied. Yes, of course, I'm into knowledge and I'm into the search for truth, both for my own personal knowledge and also for to hopefully put it out there for people like myself who are looking for the truth as well, and give them some tidbits and some knowledge and some information maybe they weren't aware of before, hearing about it from me. There's been lots of those things. There's been lots of things. I've been broadcasting now for almost 8 years, and we've brought a lot of things to the forefront, to the table, that have never been covered or talked about before. So that kind of thing, when you can do that, is exciting. But that's not all of who I am. When I'm not, yes, I'm working on this stuff 24/7. We're getting a rock wall dig off the ground right now. We've made a lot of headway on that. We still have a ways to go, but we're smoking right along. We've had some financial help with that, but the costs continue to go up on this thing. As you'd expect. But still, we're talking about 20 to 25 grand or something like that total to do an entire dig, possibly on 2 different dig sites as well. We're still right now trying to nail down those dig sites because we started making some headway, and we started getting some things accomplished, and things started to it really started to happen. We're planning on starting the dig this month in January, but it really is it's too early. We were supposed to have a mild winter here, and we kind of have had a mild winter. I mean, it's been really cold, balls cold, but not a lot of ice, and no ice or snow or craziness like that at all here in Dallas, North Texas, where I live. But it has been cold, and some of the conditions, because you got to understand, I mean, especially here in Texas, you really have a small, limited window of when you can really do, you don't really have a small window. I guess you could really do one of these things like this any time. But, you really want to do it certain times of the year, because otherwise you're going to have to deal with, rain or being too cold, too hot. So we've been really trying to figure out what would be the best time to do this kind of thing. Because, I mean, you could start whenever, I suppose, but, if you get the gear out there and there's, rain, storms, we've had a lot of rain here lately, rain, snow, ice, whatever it may be, you've got all that gear out there, and, it's going to get damaged. Because we're going to be shooting this thing really from every conceivable angle. We're going to have cameras on every point of this to document this thing 100%. But like I said, as with anything, any of these undertakings always turn out to be much bigger than you expected. But we are moving right along. We're going to try and shoot for March, April-ish, something like that for the dig. We do still need about $5,000 to $10,000 to get this thing done. We did get a substantial amount in help for this, and it's got the ball rolling for us as far as being able to get the preliminary stuff done. There's a lot of that's what people don't understand. It's not just as simple as, I wish it was, believe me, but it's not just as simple as going out and digging a hole in the ground and seeing what's there. You have to do there's a lot more preliminary work involved in this than I had anticipated, especially in terms of things like ground core samples and drilling down, because this is not going to be a joke. This is not going to be some History Channel, America on Earth, 25 foot down, where you only see the most recent parts of this wall. We're going to go down the full 9, the full 100, almost 100 feet down to the bedrock. We're going to go all the way down there. So a lot of preliminary work has to be done for a variety of reasons. For safety reasons, for equipment reasons, structural integrity reasons. They had some problems at past dig attempts with some of the structure collapsing, parts of the wall collapsing while they're digging and whatnot. So there's a lot of factors in there, and again, costs and everything else. Luckily, we had this gentleman who's going to donate all the equipment and a lot of the analysis stuff. We still have to pay for a lot of lab work. I've got another guy who can do full aerial scans and see underground. It sounds like LiDAR to me. He didn't say for sure, but and he can basically do scans of the entire rock wall area and see what's under the ground. And in his terms, it's basically like doing a dig without having to uncover any dirt. But that costs about $10,000 to get that done. But if we had that money to pay this guy, and he's a fellow seeker of the truth, so that's what's great about this company that they're getting off the ground with. But the problem is we have to pay expenses for these guys to come from New Mexico to come and run this equipment. the hours it takes to do it, it's that element of it alone, not even counting the dig, would be $10,000 or whatever. So that pushes us more into the category of 20,000 more or whatever. So it's one of those things, but we are very close. We've right now, I would say right now at a minimum of 5,000, we'll get the ball rolling the rest of the way towards us being able to do everything that we need to do in terms of the equipment, not just the equipment, we have that donated, but I mean you have other stuff besides just the big heavy machinery. At least the big heavy machinery and whatnot is being donated, because that stuff can run in excess of $10,000 to $12,000 a day just to rent that stuff. But we also need stuff like water pumps. Got a lot of groundwater, a lot of stuff we got to pump out there. But right now, we like, as I said, we were shooting to do this, start this month. January was what I was originally wanting to do, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm ready to get this fucking thing done. But as I said before, it requires you to be out there, outdoors, out in the elements, doing this work from sun up to sundown. And maybe even afterwards if we have generators and lights and stuff like that. I mean, we're going to get out there and we're not going to stop. But when it's 30 degrees and raining, and you've got cameras that aren't waterproof, I mean, we can't, I don't have waterproof cameras. That's not in the budget, Those are ungodly expensive. We've got regular cameras that can't get wet, and it's difficult to make conditions where they can't get wet. And we're going to be shooting this thing from multiple angles, documenting every single thing. So we really have to bank on proper conditions. And so those are the two things really right now that we're waiting on to get our rock wall dig off the ground. The proper conditions and a little bit more funding. If you want to make a contribution, you can do that through the usual channels there at my website, whatnot. You can also, our official sponsor for the show, Let There Be Rocks. You go to Etsy.com, do a search for Let There Be Rocks. We've got all kinds of jewelry, rock specimens, everything else you can imagine up there for all types of purposes. If you're into jewelry, if you're into collecting mineral specimens, we've got some fantastic stuff right there on that page. Let There Be Rocks. It's Etsy.com, E-T-S-Y. Go to Etsy.com and then search for Let There Be Rocks. Any purchase you make from there is going to go towards our work here. I also have been in the process of having to find a new place to live. It's no fun being homeless. So, as I said, there's been a variety of reasons why we've been on this hiatus, but I am attempting now to slowly make my way back here. But as I was saying earlier, as I've been on this hiatus, I've done a lot of thinking about this stuff, and I don't want to do this show in a regimented way anymore. And again, that's kind of part of what this is here with the video. We are going to be, we've been trying over the past year or two to get this TV broadcasting network thing that we want to do here off the ground. And it's, again, on top of everything else, it's just proven to be, the bottom line is, folks, I bite off more than I can chew. Sometimes. I mean, I'm one person. If I had a team of people and hundreds of thousands of dollars to pull from, it wouldn't, these challenges, we'd be able to overcome them a lot easier. But the fact of the matter is, when you're one person and you don't get that much financial support, it's very difficult when you get these hurdles to overcome them. And we're constantly being thrown new hurdles in this, and we constantly have so many projects going on. I don't even know how many projects I've got going on now. I've lost track. We got Lost Secrets 3 that we want to finish filming this year. We've got the Rockwall project, which is going to be a film in and of itself. I'm also going to be writing a book about the Rockwall stuff. We've got Museum TV that we want to launch, which is our online video network where we have content of all different kinds, not just about conspiracy stuff or ancient secrets or whatever it may be. So again, I'm up to my elbows here in projects and everything else, but it is starting to kind of roll now, and things are starting to look up. So that's definitely positive. But again, none of this is possible without you people out there. And I tell you, since I've taken this hiatus, it's one thing it's shown me. There aren't very many of you out there. I feel that really do care. Because not once have I've gotten maybe 2 or 3 emails in the months now I've been on hiatus of anybody even saying, "Are you okay?" or or is the show coming back? It's kind of shitty, to be honest with you. But the people that are still continue to be interested in what I do, I thank you, all of you, and those of you who are maybe new to my work or whatever. Thank you for being here as well. We got a lot of big stuff that's going to be happening here in 2015, a lot of groundbreaking stuff, a lot of new information, a lot of things that we're going to be bringing out to the public this year, hopefully, that people have never seen or heard before. I know for a fact, but we just have to have money to do that. So as I said, go to our Etsy shop there. You can go to my website, theglobalreality.com. There's a donate button there. You can put in any amount you want, however you want to do it. But again, as I was thinking about the show and the regimen, I'm just gonna not have what I do be a closed format anymore. I kind of feel like I've painted myself into a corner and have kind of made this be a closed format, and I don't really like that. It's I could get bored with something like that. Again, research is my life. Searching for lost secrets and searching for hidden knowledge is my life, but it's not my whole life. I have other interests. I'm very much into geology and gems and minerals and crystals, and all that stuff is an extension of the information anyway. I would have gotten back into that stuff. I was really heavy into rocks and minerals and geology when I was a kid. And of course, you grow up and you grow out of things, but the Rockwell thing drugged me back into that world of geology and stuff, got me back interested in it again. And it's really, given me the ability to be able to start passing on that knowledge to people, because it definitely is very important when it comes to all this stuff. And crystals can be definitely, and rocks can definitely be used to your advantage in terms of things. But but that's my point. I want to be able to talk about all that kind of stuff. If I want to do a show, it's nothing about but about rocks and minerals and gems and crystals and stuff. I want to be able to do that. I don't want to feel like I can't or I shouldn't because this show is supposed to be about this, that, and the other. I've been feeling that way for quite some time now, and it's made me not want to even do any radio shows or do any of this show at all, because I don't want to just do one thing. I might want to get up here and talk about music all night. I might want to get up here and talk about movies all night. I might want to get up here and talk about comic books or, who knows what. And that's my thing. I'm into, as a person, as a human being, I'm into a lot of different things. And as it always is, and always has been for me in the 8 years I've been broadcasting now, with me, you take it, or you leave it. I am who I am. I'm not going to apologize for that. And, you like it or you don't like it. And if you don't like it, fine. If you do like it, great. But I'm just not going to make this show just be some... I don't know. I'm tired of doing everybody's goddamn homework for them. I've talked about this before, I know. But still, I get all these emails of people wanting me. One I got this week was some guy sent me some book that he thinks has the last two tablets, of the Emerald tablets. Let me tell you something, folks. Those tablets are not out there. What they're telling you are two tablets, are two more additional tablets that weren't in the original book of the Emerald Tablets at top, but those are not the hidden tablets. Regardless of that, I had this gentleman say, well, here's this book. It's $50. There's no PDF available. And I don't have $50 to buy this book, with possibly these 2 additional tablets in them. But hey, if you want to buy it and then read it and upload it to YouTube, let me know and I'll listen. And I can't tell you how infuriated I was by that email. And that's been one of the double-edged swords of this. There's been people that think I just read those books like Lost Book of Enki and Emerald Tablets and all. There's a whole lot of people out there who think I only read those and uploaded them to YouTube. They don't realize, I've been doing an actual radio show here, and those were actually from that. And people not associated with me cut those out of my radio shows without my permission and upload them to YouTube channels, which is, it's fine. But those aren't my own sanctioned uploads. We do have sanctioned uploads of a lot of our audiobooks now on our payloads page, which you can get to from the front of my website, theglobalreality.com. And we have some of those up there now that you can buy and download for a very cheap price. Emerald Tablets of Tom is on there, Lost Book of Enki. We also have the remastered version, which I haven't done any shows to tell you about. We have a remastered, finally, the remastered and fixed audio version of The Secret Rite Volume 2. That film was plagued with audio problems and sync issues in the original film. We were able to go back, I was able to go back and restore that film to a higher quality than it ever was even when it first came out. And you can download that for $10, all in the same place there. So you can now get all of my full-length films in HD downloads there at my website. So if you don't have all those, 9/11 New World Rising, Secret Rite Volume 1, Secret Rite Volume 2, Lost Secrets 1, Lost Secrets 2, definitely go and get yourself some downloads of those. But this guy in this email, it just really infuriated me, So let me get this straight. You can't afford to get this book, and you can't afford to buy it. You're not going to buy it. You're not going to read it yourself. But you want me to come to magically shit $50 and buy this and then read it and give all my commentary and then upload it to YouTube and then let you know when I do so you can listen to it. I mean, I don't know in what universe people ever have gotten the idea that for some reason, because you're a truth seeker or you're actually trying to do something that a lot of other people won't even attempt to do, somehow that makes you a charity worker. This is not, believe me, this person is not the, like, 1 in a million person or something that thinks like this. This is a lot, almost every person. It is not my responsibility to pay $50 for this book and then read it for free. What do you have to give up? I have to give up my time, my money, my energy. It takes hours and hours. It took us months to read some of those books that we upload. How long did it take me to read Lost Book of Enki? Almost a year? And then people want you to do all that work. They want you to do all that editing, all it takes to encode those files, hours and hours and hours of that, upload all that, and then just expect nothing in return to do it. If you want me to read that book, how about you pay the $50 for it, send it to me, and maybe I'll think about reading it. But I am going to put it up for free. As I've said, the days of doing anything for free for me are over. Have been over for quite some time. This idea that for some reason you're supposed to just spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on all of this for making films and then just give it all away for free and then not have to have anybody else be responsible for how you get the money in the first place is not a model that's realistic. And I don't know where you people got this model at. Actually, I do know where you people got this model at. You got it from these hucksters who were funded at the top, from the top down, in big dollars to who then give their movies away for free. The people who, let me tell you something, folks. Somebody who makes a supposed truth film like Zeitgeist or, something like that, and spends, some of those movies I can tell you had multi-million-dollar budgets. Multi-million-dollar budgets. Admittedly, too. Anybody who spends $50,000, $100,000, $1 million on a movie and then gives it away is not working for the right side, even though it would appear that they are. It seems like a noble thing to do, right? Wrong. No. They do that because then it makes the little guys who cannot, like myself, who struggle to make films and struggle to even get, $5,000, $10,000 to make one of these films, who can't put it out for free because we can't make any more films if we put them out for free. Then it makes us look like we are the money grubbers instead of the people who actually are. This is the model they've created, folks. And this is why it works, because if you don't give everything for free and you don't appear to be, to want to even continue and just seem to have a limitless barrel of money that nobody ever questions, and then you just give all your stuff away, somehow that makes you a good researcher. But if you're somebody like me who's real and is really on the ground floor, this really doing groundbreaking things people have not brought out yet, you can't hardly get it done. So, no, I'm not going to be reading any more books and uploading them for free to YouTube. That's not going to be happening anymore. If I do upload more books, they'll be uploaded to my store where you can pay and download them. If people pay and download them and then upload them to YouTube after that, I will go after them. I'm not playing around with people copying shit from my YouTube channel anymore and uploading it to their YouTube channel and sucking hits off of mine and putting ads on it and monetizing my content. I'm sick of that. I'm not putting up with any of that crap anymore. Again, nobody else if you do that to anybody else in any other realm of content creation, you are going to get flagged. You are going to have your channel flagged. But somehow, for some reason, again, somebody created this phony mindset that where all you have to do is just somehow give credit to the person, and then that's okay. This thing where it's okay to copy everybody else's information, copy everybody's videos, and repost them to your channels and stuff. You wouldn't do that to anybody else in any major media because you're considered a conspiratorial researcher or whatever it may be, whatever label they fucking want to apply to you. Somehow that means that you're supposed to automatically just be okay with everybody essentially stealing your content and then benefiting off of it. I'm barely benefiting off of my own content. But I'm supposed to just let everybody else take my content and benefit off of everything else that I do? I'm not going to do that anymore. So, I'm really very excited to be back to broadcasting. I'm not going to be doing this show, again, by any kind of book or rule anymore. It's not going to be regimented. And you know what? A lot of people may like that. My people may not like that. But one thing that you can be sure on is that whatever we talk about, wherever we end up on, I'm going to make sure it's informative and it's going to be something, you're going to want to know about. But I'm not going to sit up here every night after night and do stuff that seems like it's for everybody else's benefit and enjoyment than my own. I just can't. That's one thing. It's been my biggest problem. It always has been my biggest problem my whole life. It's been my biggest problem since I've been doing this show and all the rest of it, is that I just can't be anybody but myself 100% of the time. I can't get in front of a microphone and get up here and fake it, good or bad. And that aspect of me is what turns people off the most. It's funny. It should be the thing that makes people like me the most. But it always seems to be the thing that turns people off the most, because people have become adjusted to and accustomed to fakeness. It's amazing to me that you can have all these fake-ass people in the media and on television and whatnot, day after day, day in and day out, fake people in sports. Folks, wake up. Football and all that stuff, it's no different than WWF or any other form of entertainment. It's owned by the same people at the top. Wake up and realize what's going on. Realize how you're being manipulated. We have all these fake-ass people that we're inundated with constantly. And, people don't seem to nitpick or point out things nearly as much as they do at someone like me. Because that's all people want to do when they can't control you or get you to line up with what they think is what you should be doing. Then they just want to try to tear you down. That's the way it always goes. Anyway, I'm not going to... I'm just not going to do a show anymore that is not exactly what I want to do. I'm not going to get up here because I always said that from the very beginning. I said, if this ever got to feel like a slave job, I was not going to do that way anymore. And it did start to feel that way. Instead of being something that I was looking forward to doing every day, it became something I was dreading every day. Because I don't like to get stuck in a regimented anything. And I've changed a lot and expanded a lot over the past several years, especially from being out in the film. Filmmaking is really my major thing now. I've got so many more films, so many more ideas in the can, stuff that needs to get made. But again, it takes funding. We've had so many people, so many people make big claims of big contributions that never materialize and all the rest of this stuff, and it just makes it very difficult when you're really counting on someone to make a big contribution, and those people bring it up and say, oh, well, in the next month or two, I'm going to be contributing big, and then you wait 3, 4, 5 months and you never see anything. It definitely makes it difficult. But this Rockwall thing becoming a reality, and now actually happening, and now the wheels are turning, and we're going forward with it. It's just absolutely amazing. I'm so stoked and ready to do this. I really have a feeling we're going to end up uncovering some stuff we didn't count on or expect at all, which is going to be really huge. But, man, 2014, I have to say, did anybody else feel like 2014 was just like the shittiest year ever? 2014 was the shittiest year ever. It was even shittier for me than 2011, when my dad and my uncle died in the same week. I mean, it was even shittier. That last year was just pure shit for me. My whole year sucked last year, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. It was just like one big, gigantic, constant suck fest from beginning to fucking end, man. I tell you what, I was really, really glad to see 2014 out of here. And I'm excited about what 2015 holds. I think it's going to be a banner year for what we're trying to do, but we need everybody's help out there. We just... I haven't been getting up here. We haven't been broadcasting in, what's it been, 3 or 4 or 5 months now on the regular? And, in that time, we've had absolutely zero support, absolutely zero money coming in on a regular basis. So basically we had to shut everything off. I'm not going to be doing the live broadcast show anymore. The show will be strictly podcast. The archives, the archives is the same as they are, and those are not going to change. Still not decided how we're going to do the daily video thing yet. Eventually it will become a part of what will become MusionTV.com, which will be, again, not just stuff that has to do with conspiracies or research or whatever. It'll have, any variety of things it'll talk about. We'll have a yoga show. We'll have a variety of shows is what we're aiming for. But as I said, we are going to be incorporating video and doing a daily video portion of the show here. And I imagine what it'll be is that you'll go to one site or one source for the video portion, which you're watching now, and then the audio from this will be uploaded to the Podbean membership archives the way that they always have been and are up to this point. So that part of it won't change. If you already have a membership to the audio portion of this show, again, thank you for having a membership at all, number one. If you don't have one, go to my website, theglobalreality.com right now and get yourself one. $10 a month. We got all kinds of deals up there. You can get a lifetime pass for $1,000. But we'll probably be putting up a few free videos on the YouTube channel just to kind of get everybody back in the groove of us broadcasting again and being back and letting everybody know kind of what's going on. And then eventually these videos will be in a site that'll be a membership site or something like that. Or I don't really know exactly how we're going to deliver that yet and how it's going to be, but there will be a daily video thing, and there will also be stuff where we'll have additional screens. We'll have cuts where you'll see this like shot like you're seeing now me, but then it'll cut to a screen with some visuals on it while I'm talking about it. It's going to be cool. It's going to be multimedia. I'm really going to be working on trying to make this into a proper video show, video cast, as well as the radio stuff. So that's another reason why I want to make it more multifaceted. Yeah, let's talk about some news. Yeah, let's talk about some conspiracies. Yeah, let's talk about archaeological stuff. Yeah, let's talk about some ancient mysteries. But, let's talk about some gems and minerals and crystals as well. And let's talk about, why I think this band has good records and why I think this band over here sucks donkey dick, or what bands are great live, or what albums do I like, and digital versus analog recording, and different types of cameras and music gear. Hey, maybe I want to talk guitars. Let's talk about, vintage guitars versus new guitars, vintage electronics. I mean, who knows what? I want to talk about everything. I'm just not to the point anymore where I want to do one, single-faceted type of show. I want to, I just want to be able to talk about whatever, whenever, and not feel like I absolutely have to be bound to talk about these things. And I think that a lot of that stems from the fact that, I've done a lot of other, and I have, been getting a lot of really more high-profile interview gigs and interviews requests coming in, fast and furious. I turn down more than I take these days. But I'm always grateful for the opportunity to go on a show if it's, a big enough audience and whatnot. Been on with John B. Wells and whatnot on his show. But those shows are always going to be, single-faceted. Those shows are never going to be multifaceted and be a whole bunch of different things, because when you go on one of those shows, you're there to talk about those specific types of topics, and that's it, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I'm great with that. But I feel like to balance that now, I just want to be less regimented with the show. I don't want to feel like, because to me, after you've done it as long as I've been on air for almost 8 fucking years now. And the real thing of it is so much of this stuff is just pure propaganda. So much of this news and stuff that's out there. I mean, I'm still going to be covering news, but I have a whole bunch of news stacked up of articles I went through that I'll talk about, not tonight, but in tomorrow's broadcast. It's all archaeological stuff. All of it is pretty much archaeological stuff. And yes, there'll be some stuff I want to talk about. I'm definitely going to be weighing in and getting into the whole American Sniper thing going on. My God. It's just absolutely sickening. I'm not going to get into it tonight, but it's absolutely sickening. It's just the biggest bunch of lies. The whole thing, the whole Chris Kyle thing. I mean, I talked about this stuff when it happened. The whole thing is a CIA-created lie. The whole thing about him, the way he died and getting killed, was a lie. 2 months, people forget this, 2 months after he supposedly got killed at the firing range, 2 months later, his guys from Craft Services, the company he started with their Punisher logo, are all over the Boston bombing. Those are the guys that carried it out. They faked Chris Kyle's death. They wrote this fake bullshit created narrative book, which Jesse Ventura sued and won over. And of course he sued and won. And of course he won. Why do you think they gave it up so easily to Ventura and let him win? You think it was just because he was right? No, it was because, of course it was bullshit. Of course everything. They knew it was bullshit. That's why they let him win. They concocted all of that. The Jesse Ventura element of this is really the big giveaway to let you know that this whole thing was a phony creative narrative. See, I said I wasn't going to get into it, and what did I do? End up getting into it. But it's all horseshit. They did a staged public execution of this guy, made him into a hero. I mean, I remember. You didn't hear anything about this guy before he died, and then he died, and then all of a sudden they're acting like, he's some fucking salt of the earth American hero. I mean, they especially here in Dallas, they had his funeral here. They had it at the big Jerry World football stadium. And I remember watching and hearing about it on the news here locally and going, I could just smell it, man. I could just smell the fucking bullshit coming off of it. I said, this is an op. And then 2 months later, craft service guys are all over the Boston. There's pictures of the guys with the logo and the hats, and looks like the Punisher logo from the old Marvel comics. That's the end of okay. Well, I was simultaneously recording video here along with the show tonight, but the camera just stopped and said that the hard drive is full, which it shouldn't be full. Huh. All right. Well, that just means that those of you listening here on the extended broadcast get to hear more than the people on the video. I really just wanted that to kind of be a sneak preview anyway. But anyway, as I was saying, the whole entire thing, and now they've got this Clint Eastwood movie out, and now it's the biggest, it's breaking all kinds of records. In the movie, they continued, they continue to spout the false narrative of we went, into Iraq and we had, all the whole thing of the war was because of 9/11. It wasn't because of 9/11. But they are already shortly after all these events transpired, already creating the phony narrative to program into people's minds that the invasion was due to 9/11. It wasn't what it was about. They told us Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, which he never had and were never found. And now they're trying to turn this into some, these were the bad guys and we had to go get the bad guys. And the most sickening thing about it is that the hate and fervor being anybody who dares say anything negative about this movie or Chris Kyle or anything else is being vilified as a demon. I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't care for Seth Rogen or for Michael Moore, either one. Honestly. Seth Rogen's okay. He does some pretty terrible stuff, to be honest with you. But I really, honestly, don't give a shit about either one of those guys. I mean, the interview, that whole thing was another operation. That thing, if you saw that movie, was terrible. It was a 2.5 hour long gay joke that was just riddled with propaganda. But
You've got all these guys acting like it's un-American to say anything whatsoever about American Sniper or Chris Kyle or anything else. And, making threats to Michael Moore said, he said something to the effect of, I was brought up to believe snipers are cowards because they shoot people in the back, and my grandfather was shot in the back and killed by a sniper in World War II. So I was brought up my whole life to believe snipers are cowards. Somehow that statement, ballooned into all these other things that he didn't say. And I would never defend that piece of shit. Seth Rogen the same way. Seth Rogen said, it reminds me of Inglourious Bastards when they're watching, the Nazi propaganda film. And again, all these flag-waving nutsos, how dare you say something about an American hero, blah, 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 blah. Yet, you fucking hypocrites. Isn't it their God-given right or their constitutional right or their right as Americans or whatever it may be in your mind to say whatever they want to say, whether you like it or not? Isn't that supposedly what our brave men and women are fighting for over there, defending our country, fighting them over there so we don't have to fight them over here? Right? You fucking hypocrites? Right, so free speech and land of the brave and flag waving America and greatest country on earth, and we shoot people, we go over there and slaughter people, we vilify people as heroes who go and shoot people from, a mile away. But if you say anything bad about it or you don't like it, boy, you better watch out. And, boy, this is mind control at its finest. This is a massive psychological operation that's going on. This whole thing stinks to high heaven, and it just boggles my mind and scares the shit out of me at how many people are buying into it. Wake up, folks. The world is not what you think it is. You know what? I'm here to tell you. I wish that we really did live in a country where it was safe and it was okay for us to be patriotic and flag waving and maniacal behind our country. I wish it was, but folks, if you believe that and you feel that way now, you are living, I hate to tell you, you are living in a false reality. Because the reality of it is, all that flag-waving patriotic bullshit you've been taught is right your whole life is nothing but brainwashing propaganda, and every country on earth has its own version of it. And if you don't believe me, go to YouTube and go and watch propaganda films from Russia in the 1980s or China in the 1990s. Go and watch any patriotic films that are created and shown to other countries. And you should be at least, scared shitless. Why? Because you'll see it's no different than, stand in line, keep your mouth shut, and pledge allegiance to the flag every morning. There's a reason why they did that, folks. To burn that regimented, unwavering, blind allegiance to something that really doesn't represent you or your interests or your family or your anything at all. And again, I said I wasn't going to get into that tonight, but, hey. Nothing is what it seems. Everything is a lie, and everything is created and manufactured in order to justify whatever their next slaughter is going to be. Well, it certainly is good to be coming back and good to be broadcasting again. I'm going to be kind of easing into it, but bottom line is, folks, I'm just going to not do this in any kind of regimented format anymore. I'm going to do this show the way I want to do it, and I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And we're going to change a lot this year in 2015. We are going to do some big things. And again, some of them are things I can't talk about, because if I talk about them, then they won't happen. But we've got some monumental, earth-shaking things that are going to rock science and the establishment to the core. But we cannot do it without your support. Minimum, we need to get about $500 in here this week. We had another $5,000 to go down towards the rock wall dig thing. That'd be great too. But just whatever you can spare. Many hands make light work. Go to my website, theglobalreality.com. Go to our Etsy page. Let There Be Rocks. Hey, buy some stuff at our Etsy page. We've got some great specimens up there right now. Great jewelry, pendants, rings, top quality stuff. I mean, amazing tourmaline specimens. We've got tons of moldavite jewelry. We've got Amazonite smoky quartz combos from Lake George, Colorado. One of the biggest ones I've ever seen up there. We've got some huge Herkimer diamonds. I mean, just some massive, massive specimens. All kinds of stuff up there. Let There Be Rocks. That's Etsy, ETSY, Etsy.com, and then Let There Be Rocks. Go and check that out. You can check us out on Facebook as well. Global Reality Facebook page. It's all linked up there at my website, theglobalreality.com. We have donate buttons at my website where you can make a donation through PayPal. If you'd like to make a donation with a credit card, you can email me. Any kind of thing like that. Please support our work, folks. We need some cash in here to get this thing jump-started. We've got software license and stuff. We got to basically get everything turned back on here so we can do our regular broadcasting and our video casting and all this stuff. Whatever you can spare, make a donation, make a contribution. Go buy some of our stuff from our download store. All kinds of new stuff up there to download, audiobooks, remastered Secret Rite Volume 1 and 2. Boy, you gotta get yourself a download of that Secret Rite Volume 2. If you never saw that film, or you got a DVD or a Blu-ray, or you watch on YouTube, and you had all the audio popping and all that stuff, and the video being out of sync, all that stuff's been fixed. The movie finally looks like it was intended and sounds like it was intended to be, and it's just fantastic. So definitely get yourself a copy of that. I feel very, very good about the fact that I can get those films out to a larger audience now, because the remastered HD versions we have, they're only $10. I mean, you can't beat that deal. And the quality of them both is just fantastic. I really feel good about getting those films back out there and getting them to a new audience. So with your help and all the help of the universe, we are going to kick ass in 2015. TheGlobalReality.com is my website. Go there and please support us in any way you can right now. The more if we need an infusion of cash is what we need. We've got ideas. We've got equipment. We always need more equipment. We also have a wish list up there at TheGlobalReality.com. You can go there, and there's various things we need on there: cameras, computers, stuff for filmmaking. Anything you buy on there, you can just go on there and buy it, and it sends it to me automatically. You don't have to have my address or anything. And any of that stuff on there. Somebody went on there and bought 3 or 4 items for us, in lieu of a cash donation. That would be great. Doesn't really matter. So again, if you don't want to make a cash donation, you don't want to buy anything from our Etsy shop, hey, go buy some stuff out of our Amazon shop for us, and that will help us out tremendously as well there. But no matter how you do it, please make that happen for us. We haven't been up here asking for a dime in months and months and months, but now we are back, and we're coming back, and we're going to kick some ass, but we've got to have some money to jumpstart this thing. If somebody wants to donate $5,000, $10,000, whatever it may be, please donate whatever you can, as much as you can right now, so we can get a cash infusion in here to jumpstart this year, because this is going to be big, folks, and I'm fired up, and I'm ready to make a comeback and do this stuff in the way that we are supposed to do it. You and me and whoever else decides to jump on our team. But I'm ready to do this, and I want you with me. So let's do it. My name's Josh Reeves. I love each and every one of you. We'll see you next time. You guys have a great one. Take care.